What's up, everybody? I'm going on a fun trip today. For fun, I do sports broadcasting, a radio show about BYU football and KSL here in the state of Utah. And I also do play-by-play broadcasting for Utah Valley University. I'm taking my standard range Tesla Model 3 on a road trip up to Pocatello, Idaho. I'm at 100% charge, 264 miles. It's 198 miles to the arena that I'm going to be doing this men's Division I basketball game from. I'm hoping I can make it all the way there. So this is a little bit of a road trip, a range anxiety test, and because it's cold, it's sub 50 degrees here in Utah. This is December 2024. So this will be kind of a good idea of 198 miles of distance, 264 miles of range. Can I make it in one stop? And then I'll charge up there before making the round trip back home. As you can see, 100% charge. I guess it went down a little bit, 263 miles now. And then here in the navigation section, we'll put in, it's called the Reed Arena, but it's not pulling up here, so we'll go Holt Arena instead. Pocatello, Idaho, 181 miles. And let's see what it calculates here for me. I'm gonna go all the way there because I feel like I can charge in Pocatello. 40 degrees on arrival, and it's gonna let me go in one straight. Oh wow, it says I'm gonna get there with 32% battery left. Does that have any charging stops in here? Let's see. No. So wow, obviously the round trip estimate negative 77. I'm gonna have to charge, and there's a charger in Pocatello I'm gonna hit up before the game. Something I love about road tripping in a Tesla is autopilot. And I'm not talking full self-driving. You know, full self-driving it's really impressive. It's getting a lot better. And the latest version, I had a video up on the channel you can go and check out of a test from my house to a BYU football game on version 12 full self-driving, and it was impressive. But even if you don't want to pay for that, and you can pay for it up front or you can have a subscription, if you don't want to pay for that, like I didn't want to pay for it when I bought this car, you still get basic autopilot, which is it'll stay in the lane and it won't crash into the car in front of you. It'll adjust the speed. It's a straight shot on I-15 up to Pocatello, Idaho. I'm not gonna need to change lanes all that much. And for a 2.5-hour road trip like the one I'm taking, you just kind of sit back, you throw it in autopilot, you listen to some music, you listen to a podcast, and it is quite an enjoyable ride. I've got some snacks with me. I'm gonna go hit up McDonald's, get a Diet Coke because they've got the best Diet Coke in the land. And then I'm just gonna enjoy my time. A little peace and quiet, maybe get a little work done with some work calls, and next thing you know, I'll be in Pocatello, Idaho.
To get a hold of yourself.
Something that's fun to look at on a road trip is this energy tab, which is just not as fun to look at on regular day in and day out drives, but I love to monitor it on a road trip. So my consumption by driving, it's giving me some range tips. I'm not going to stay below 70 miles an hour. Wind from the south has given me some extra range, which is kind of cool. And then I love to watch that graph here that shows percentage consumed, 3% more than the trip projection because I'm going faster than 70 miles an hour. Live projection has me at less than 21% when I return, which is fine. I just want to get there without charging. So if that's down to 5%, I'm okay with that. And I also like too that it automatically tracks this for a given trip. You don't have to remember to start a trip and then log it yourself. It's automatic. Because on these trips, I do like to know how far I traveled and all these stats at the end of it. And a lot of times I forget to hit that start button. Well, here it automatically tracks it for you. And it's also good too if you have range anxiety. I know I touched on that earlier. If that's something that really bothers you, you can monitor this throughout the trip and get those range tips that it shows right down here in the corner to give you a little peace of mind that you're going to get there when you want to get there. But for me, it's about speed. I want to get there fast. I want to do it safe. I'm not going to drive recklessly, but I want to get there as fast as I can to give me a little extra time to charge before tonight's basketball game.
Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me.
I'm coming up on the fork in the road, half a mile to Pocatello, and I can't miss this, or straight ahead to Boise. I've missed this before on my way to Idaho Falls a couple years ago, and it was a pain, a real pain. There's a supercharger here in Tremonton, Utah. I've used it before. It's only a 150 watt charger. I contemplated stopping. I have 56 percentage left in the battery, but I don't want to stop at this charger because it's a slower charger, and I really want to make this in one stop. So I've got 113 minutes left on this trip to Pocatello, 90 miles. I think I'm going to try and hold it. Might not be a good decision. As you can see there, 90 miles left. I'm going to power through. I'm going to hold it. But what a beautiful part of the country. The mountains, the sky, the sun's going down here shortly. It really is a nice part of the country from a road trip, just because the scenic views are so nice. This has been a breeze so far. I am consuming more power than I thought. When I left, it estimated I'd get to Pocatello, the Reed Arena area on Idaho State's campus, with around 21%. We're down to 16%. There's a lot of uphill happening. If I had to guess, I'll probably be closer to 10%. But the advantage of rolling in so low is that you'll have faster charging speeds. The lower the battery, the faster it charges, and as you approach 80, 90, and 100%, it really slows down at a supercharger. So I have been on many a road trip in my 5+ years of driving a Tesla Model 3. I've been from Utah to California multiple times, and I rolled into Nephi once. I think this video is still up on the channel with 1% left. That was stressful. So rolling into 10%, I'm not even going to sweat it. It's going to be easy. But it's been a good ride so far, other than I need to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to power through. So wish me luck. Let's get an energy update. I have less than 20 miles to go. I have 20% battery left, and I have consumed a lot more than I thought that I was going to consume, and that's largely due to me driving over the speed limit 5 to 10 miles an hour. So here's the breakdown with a little bit left to go. 80% of the battery consumed, 18.6% more than the projection. My live projection says that I'll have about 9% when I get back. If I had stayed below 70 miles an hour, I would have saved nearly 20%. If I dip down to 70 miles an hour for the last 20 miles, I could save another 2%. And then nearly 6 mile an hour winds from the south have saved me 1.5%. Kind of interesting. So we'll see how much battery I can regain in that 15 to 20 minutes. I'm hoping I can get to at least 50%, considering the battery will be so low. But we'll find out when I get there, which is in about 15 minutes. But this has been smooth, it's been easy, and I'm looking forward to this basketball game. Always fun to be a sports broadcaster. I grew up that way with a passion for it. I did it in high school, did it in college, still doing it, and I always look forward to it. I just got off the freeway. I am 1 minute from the supercharger. I have 7% left on this supercharger. I just got off the freeway. I have 7% left in my battery, and I am 1 minute from the Pocatello supercharger. They only have one of those here in Pocatello, Idaho. I have been preconditioning the battery for supercharging speed. I've got an hour and 15 minutes before tip off at Reed Gym on the campus of Idaho State University. So I have about 15 minutes here. It's critical for my return home later tonight that I get enough battery here to get me to Tremonton, or preferably a little further into Utah for a final charge before I make it home. And if I get home with 1%, that's fine with me. And where I live in Utah County, there is plenty of supercharging along the way. So in a pinch, it's not a problem to pull over if needs be, but I really just care about getting home as quickly as possible because I charge at home, and that's the beauty of an electric vehicle. Is it's a total shift in the way that you think about transportation, in that you don't want to go to superchargers. You don't want to be charging in public outside of work. If you can get free charging, you want to do it at home. And so that's the goal, but if I don't get enough battery right now before the basketball game, then I'm going to have to come back here after the game, which is not ideal, especially for someone like me who try to maximize my time the best that I can. I need this to go well. I need at least 125 miles in the battery to get to Tremonton. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble. So I'll set a timer. Let's see what 15 minutes can get me. And I might be willing to do 16 or 17 minutes if I'm right on the edge. I don't want to run out of battery because there's no chargers between here and Tremonton. But that's the goal. And let's plug this baby in and get going. All right, starting at 5:49. Let's see what 15 minutes can get me. Starting to charge. Let's make sure this works. Pump me up. Let's go. Okay. 5 kilowatts. Get us as close to 250 as humanly possible. Crank this baby up. 50. Need more than that. Need a lot more than 50. Creeping towards 100. Get me over 200. Up we go. Up, up, up. We're at 7% right now. I want to be north of 150. And I don't know if we're going to get there, which is a little disappointing. I'm not going to lie. But 600 miles an hour, that's better than nothing. So 15 minutes on the clock. All right, it's been 15 minutes. I've changed my clothes because I wasn't gonna go broadcast a game on the radio like a homeless person. So a little collared shirt, that Utah Valley polo. And in 15 minutes here at the Pocatello Supercharger, I have received 133 miles. I'm up to 150. My max range is 264, so I'm well above 50%. I'm at 57%. That's going to be enough to get me to my next charging destination after the game, which is in probably Tremont, Utah, but hopefully I can get a little further. And that's the goal. It's not about filling up. You can't think of it in that way. When you're on a Tesla road trip, it's just from one point to the next. And ideally, you're getting to your next charging destination at the lowest percentage possible that you're comfortable with. That way the charging speeds are fast. See, I've already dipped down to 100 kilowatts an hour. It hit its peak at 150. So it's gonna take longer from here to 80 to 100% than I did from 7% to 50%. So you just want enough to get to the next charging spot until your destination. I have done that in 15 minutes. I'm stoked about that. And now let's get to Reed Arena and call some men's basketball.
I made it. Idaho State. First half is done. Second half coming your way. Wolverines got the win, and that'll do it from Pocatello. It's about 9 p.m. I got 2.5 hours ahead of me to get back to Utah County, but that was fun. There were some thunderous alley-oop dunks in this one, and I had a good time. So I'm gonna hop in the car, and then I'll probably report back on my first supercharge, hopefully at some place in Utah. The further the better, so we'll see in a minute.
Made it to Tremont, and you know, I was a little nervous at first, I'm not gonna lie, but I really didn't have a reason to be nervous because I made it here with plenty of juice to spare in the battery. 13 miles, you know, I'm pretty happy with 13 miles. I might have been able to have gone 85 that whole way, but here I am. This is only a max charging speed of 150, which is all I got in Pocatello. So I guess it doesn't matter. I am here for 18 minutes to get me comfortably home to Orem, Utah. It says 20 minutes to continue on trip. I'll probably cut that 2 minutes short. Like I said, I really don't care if I roll into my garage with no miles left on the battery. I want to get home with as little amount of battery as possible. I think I'm gonna watch some YouTube on this TV for 20 minutes and then hit the road and head on home. So hope you've enjoyed this quick road trip. I went to California. It's a little more interesting because there's more stops along the way, but this gives you an idea. It's obviously extra time, but I think the comfort in this car with autopilot makes it a much easier drive, and I'm okay with that. If you can't tell, my voice is really struggling. Doing a lot of talking today, so thanks for coming along. You know, there might be some B-roll footage on the way home, but that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions about this drive or supercharging or road tripping, let me know in the comments. And as always, to all of you who watch, I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Stop me.